Hello, hello. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to start with asking Sam Altman the 5-minute thing. And I was going to look for a Visa tweet. Hello, привет. Как дела? I'm going to talk about luck, but later. Right now, I'm going to do a thing that I thought of, which was, yo, hallo, wo bist du? Wo? Wer? Wie? Wie bist du? No. Wer? No. No. Wie? Wie bist du? Wie geht's dir? Yes, I remember you. That's why I said привет. I'm going to do first this thing. If you had 5 minutes with Sam Altman, what would you tell him? And yeah, I was going to do something like this. So yeah. Oh shit, it's translating everything. I don't want that. Fuck. Okay. Now it's not translating it. Fuck, it's translating it now. Jeez. Well, this will have to do. How did the tattoo go? Okay, and I was going to look for a tweet because I want to do this thing. If you have 5 minutes with Sam Altman, what would you tell him? And I want to, I want to look for a tweet. Visa Camp Pierce, maybe. Most recent. Yeah, this. Something like this. If I... Yeah, he has like this... He has this kind of guideline. It is like a specific proof of work. I've been a fan of your work and writing since the LiveJournal days. Share something specific about yourself, the influence of you. Your work shaped the way I now do X, and ask easy to answer specific Q. This is my problem, that I don't have any specific questions for Sam Altman, right? So if I have 5 minutes with him, I'm not sure what I would do. Okay, very well. It didn't hurt as much as I thought, and I'm very happy with the results so far. But for my final thoughts, I'll have to wait until the skin is healed completely again. Yeah. That makes sense. It looks kind of blurry with the thing on it, right? With kind of the plastic foil. And with the skin being irritated or whatever, it looks kind of different, yeah. That's good. Guitar. How old are you? I'm 26. If you want to know more of my thoughts of being 26, you can look at this video here where I talk about being 26. It's called Being 26. me with some thoughts about having just turned 26. How old are you? Why do you put the shit emoji? Andy, I wanted to do this. I wanted to do something like this for Sam Altman, and then maybe plan some things like this for future people I want to meet. So yeah, 10. Yeah, it kind of shows. Not gonna lie, it shows. But hey, welcome. I don't discriminate based on age. Where are you from? Are you actually in Russia? Or are you from Russia, but somewhere else? Other people. Taylor Swift. I have in my notes some kind of questions that I would ask Taylor Swift, but they're not good ones. And I think I'm not sure if I have questions for her actually. I think I have for her mom. I have a question here. I have something like for Flory. Flory is a singer, a British singer, and I like her. And I was thinking of interviewing her when she released her new album. Yes. Where in Russia? Where in Russia? And yes to what? Yes to what part? Because I did ask two things, right? So I asked him yes to that you're in Russia. Where? Moscow. Moskva. Kazan. I'm listing cities that I know. Vladivostok. What's that city in the Far East? I forget. Nizhny Novgorod. Yes to what? Yeah, I have this. What pushed you there in each stage of your career? But I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a good one. And I link this to it. Sometimes when a person writes a book, it's because they just wanted to write the book, and once they publish it, they don't really care about it, which is fine. And I wonder if Taylor has this approach, right? This is included in this note, so. I don't know. The problem is that my questions, good luck. Spasibo. The problem is that my questions for Sam Altman, like Sam Altman, what has happened? Visa frame. Okay. Control C, Control V. Boom. Gigatwig. Hello. Specific proof of work. I have read the essays, read his essays on startup stuff and general advice type shit. I've also used ChatGPT, right? Used ChatGPT. I've seen the posts of him with McLaren. Seen the posts of him with his McLaren F1. He has a McLaren F1. That's pretty fucking rad. Like, if you look up Sam Altman F1, it probably, yeah. You can see him around with a fucking red F1. That's fire. And I'm always curious about that type of stuff, right? The problem is that rich people usually don't, I don't know. It's not that they don't like to talk about money or whatever, but that it's kind of not as much in their mind as it is in my mind, for example. Share specific about yourself. I like cars, right? So that's why I'm curious about the I don't know, my questions are very generic rich guy questions, right? They are very like, but applied more specifically to what Sam Altman's situation is, right? So it's like, I don't know, kind of what is it like to be Sam Altman in a day, right? I don't know. He's also gay, which is interesting to me, right? He got married recently. It is kind of a very outlier type life, right? You are driving one of the most expensive cars in the world. You are gay, which is kind of rare, right? In the overall distribution of people is rare, being gay in a sense. He's in San Francisco. Which makes the gay part less rare, I guess, but like overall in the world, it is kind of remarkable to be in San Francisco, right? Because that is where shit's being cooked, right? That's where this YouTube platform started. And he's not just any guy in San Francisco, right? He's the OpenAI guy. To say Chuck a Rossi. Are you in Russia now? No. Niet. I'm in Spain. Are you in Russia now? Like, yeah, you said yes, right? Where in Russia are you? Где ты в России?
Где ты в России?
Где ты в России? А где? Where? This doesn't mean where. I'm in Spain. Where? In Spain. Yeah. Spain. Spansky. Spanskia. in Spani. В Испании. В Испании.
В Испании.
В España. Okay. España. Bro, what? Je de. Feel. Okay.
觉得
Are you in some part like these maps? Are you close to China? Like here? Or like here? Krasnoyarsk. Irkutsk. Chita. Khabarovsk. Oh, this is the place that I thought of. This is the place in the Far East. Khabarovsk. Spassk. I watched a girl on YouTube that's from Spassk. And she studied in Khabarovsk. She says Khabarovsk, I think. Khabarovsk. Okay, good night. Where are you from? Bro, why don't you say... Where are you from? In Russia, within Russia. It's big, bro. Yekaterinburg. Chelyabinsk. Yes. I think it's interesting how your stream brings some different people together. Yeah. I think it's interesting too. I let it happen because I think it's funny, right? I think it's interesting too. And I think it is conducive to my goal, to my wider goal, right? Of letting people, but getting other people to let me stay in their house. It is important, right? I mean, I'm not going to go to the 10-year-old guy's house for obvious reasons, but you never know. True lol. Hey. Chigri. Okay. Well, Gigatwig. Where are you from, Gigatwig? By the way, I never asked. Yeah, this is my goal. Not for streaming, just streaming, right? But in general, in life. It's one of my goals, right? To California. Nice. To get people to let me stay in their house, right? And it's like, why would one let a random guy from the internet stay in their house, right? But it has happened, right? There are a lot of people who do it, right? In fact, there are people right now who do it. Couchsurfing.com. If you go to this website, there are a lot of people who will literally let random people from the internet sleep at their house. Right? So it's like, imagine if you knew them beforehand. Like, it's so much easier, right? And that's my goal. That's one of my goals. And the other goal is to not need to do it. Right? To be rich enough to not have to do it. Those are my goals. They are open to changing because, yeah. Where in California? NorCal or SoCal? Do you know Sam Altman? Personally, I mean. Like, are you Are you tight? Because I was wondering what would I tell him if I had 5 minutes with him. Right? Oh, the other thing, the thing in the title, the luck thing, it's because of this essay. This? No. Yeah, this. Well, it's not an essay. It's kind of a... Yeah. This is what he talks about, right? He uses the name Sam, I guess, coincidentally. He's talking about writers, right? So John is the writer who writes stuff, writes a book for 2 years locked in the house and then publishes it. And Sam is the person who writes tweets, newsletters, moves to a city where there are sort of things happening, right? And I'm kind of a mix. Am I cool? I don't know. Are you cool? And yeah, this is what I was going to talk about after making the Sam Altman video, but I don't know. I'm indecisive, so I'm not sure what I want to accomplish with the Sam Altman video also. Maybe I will do version 1, right? This is what I wanted to do, right? This is why I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do kind of a version 1 of what I would say right now without doing a lot of research, right? Just kind of remembering a couple of things and going at it, right? And trying to do this easy to ask specific question or whatever the fuck. I wanted to approximate this, but I don't want to not ask. Like, if I have 5 minutes with Sam Altman, yeah, it would be cool to be prepared enough for this, right? But what would I do? What would I actually do, right? I would probably be nervous, like, hello, Sam, or something like this, right? So, let's go. I'm going to record the video and try to attempt it. What would I ask Sam Altman if I had 5 minutes with him? Okay, first of all, I want to highlight this Visa tweet because he has this kind of how to DM your heroes when they follow you, right? And he has this kind of frame that kind of puts you in some kind of mindset that is good. Why do I say kind of a lot of so much time? If I had 5 minutes with Sam Altman, what would I tell him or ask him? When I saw that prompt, that tweet, I thought of this other tweet by Visa that says how to DM your heroes when they follow you. Specific proof of work, share something specific about yourself, and ask an easy to answer a specific cue, because it's kind of a good framework, right? To think of what would you ask someone you respect without, I guess, standing out a little bit, right? Doing a little bit of homework beforehand. And this is kind of my attempt at this, but also it is just a first attempt, and I'm trying to be kind of realistic and not do like in-depth research for a made-up question that is not actually going to probably, well, I don't want to joke about the outcomes. I don't want. If I had 5 minutes with Sam Altman, what would I tell him or ask him? When I saw that tweet, I got reminded of this other one by Visa that basically tells you how to DM your heroes when they follow you, and puts this kind of good framework and this good set of questions and set of set of kind of I want to say kind of parameters or something like this, but Guidelines. Yeah, guidelines. Guidelines work. If I had 5 minutes with Sam Altman, what would I tell him or what would I ask him? I saw this post by Visa where he sets out this framework on how to DM your heroes when they follow you. And he has these kind of nice guidelines that I think are smart and that make you kind of stand out a little bit from what the usual fan or hero interaction, hero versus person who idealizes someone interaction goes like, right? And I think that this is a good way to not separate yourself from the crowd, I guess. Yeah, this is a way of doing it. I wanted to apply that kind of this to the Sam Altman prompt. Some context before I wanted to do while filling this before. This is previously to meeting Sam, right? I haven't met Sam yet. So this is some of the things that I've taken from the Visa framework, right? So specific proof of work. I've been a fan of your works and writing since the LiveJournal days, right? So I want to say what specific proof of work do I have on him, right? Or what knowledge about him do I have? And I have read his essays on startup stuff and kind of general advice type shit. I have used ChatGPT, right? I'm not like a mega developer with the OpenAI API or whatever, but yeah, I've used ChatGPT. I've seen posts of him with his McLaren F1, right? And it was cool. And wedding. I've seen that he got married recently, so I would want to congratulate him a little bit on this. You hit your mice twice there. Don't know if you want to leave that in the video. I will finish this and then... Yeah, this is take one, so I will probably leave this. What do you mean hit my mice? Ah, my mic, this, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Okay, I will redo. Sorry. If I had 5 minutes with Sam Altman, what would I ask him or tell him? When I saw that prompt, I got reminded of this Visa tweet where he lays out these guidelines on how to DM your heroes when they follow you, and I thought it would be a good framework to have in mind to kind of, think of what I would ask or tell Sam Altman in this case. And using that framework, this is more or less what I came up with, right? Visa says that it's good to start with specific proof of work. Kind of, I've been a fan of your work and writing since the LiveJournal days, right? So what do I admire Sam Altman for, right? He's obviously made ChatGPT this OpenAI startup or whatever, but the things that hit me more deeply are his essays on startup stuff and general advice type shit, right? I haven't watched every interview of him, but I have read his essays, and I have made a couple of videos about them actually, right? So maybe I could add that as well, right? I've made videos about them myself. Then I've also used ChatGPT. I'm not a mega developer or something, but I have used ChatGPT. I have seen posts of him with his McLaren F1. This will become relevant soon. And wedding. I have seen that he got married recently, right? So I don't know. I feel like I would want to incorporate that in some capacity. I would probably have a completely different approach to you for this scenario. I wouldn't want to research stuff before, but rather just have a genuine conversation, like how I would talk with anyone. In the end, it's just another person like you and me. Yeah, this is kind of what... Yeah, this is true, but also... Yeah, you make good points, but I have a retort to this, right? To me, the problem with that is not that he is not a regular person. It's the fact that in general, it's not accepted within regular people to do this, right? To write a list of what you want to ask your friends or something, right? I have a friend who would pull up with a little note of what, when we hadn't seen each other in a while, we would, like, I had a list of things that I wanted to ask her, and she had this list of things that she had thought of, right? These kind of conversation topics. And I thought, and I actually think that's a good idea, right? That's good. That's something good. And yeah. So, yeah, to me, this is not just because it's his Sam Altman or whatever, right? It's like I would do this more often if it were more accepted, right? If you could pull up to a Tinder date or to a Hinge date or something like this with a list of conversation topics based on the bio, right? And the girl wouldn't be like, this is a weirdo, right? Then I feel like that would be, I don't know, more fitting to me, I guess, something like this, right? That's why I'm not on those applications or whatever. Because I sense that my approach to things is not accepted, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Makes sense, I guess. I can get behind your thought process. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I sense your point, right? And yeah, it's true that there is, I guess, this factor, like, after all, we are talking about heroes, as Visa says, right? He says, there is a sense in which it's not just a regular interaction or whatever, right? But yeah, that the prep work is not intrinsically because it's someone who is a hero, right? It's also because you only have 5 minutes, right? If I have a whole date with someone, maybe I can afford to not lose as much time, right? If it was a speed dating contest or whatever with just regular people, but I had access to this information or whatever, then yeah, I think it would be a good idea to have this 5-minute speed date in mind, right? I also don't really have a hero in that sense. I don't look up to any writers or similar. I don't know. Not even to the people like this song, the Billboard Suit song. Not even to the people who write those songs or whatever. Yeah, the Since I Saw Vienna song, Wilbur Suit. I guess songwriting is also writing. I didn't really think about it. Yeah, I think of it because Taylor Swift, I mean, I wouldn't call her a hero, but I am a fan, right? I don't know, Visa says heroes because he likes the terminology hero. His old username used to be kind of Visa is a hero, right? He has this, and he likes this writing hero's journey type thing, right? I also like it, but yeah, I don't think of hero that much, right? Some people like to use the word mentor, right? Some people just say look up to. Yeah, you used to look up to any writers. I liked Will before he started his music, so yeah, I would still talk normal to him. Yeah, also Visa, he also doesn't kind of idolize a lot of people, right? I pulled up this tweet because he was talking about meeting, like becoming mutuals with with something like that. And I, for example, thought of Avril Lavigne because he is a fan. No, not Avril Lavigne. Hayley Williams. He's a big fan of Hayley Williams from Paramore, right? But he always says this kind of thing of peers, right? His idea is to become peers. So, yeah, to become peers with someone, peerdom does come with an inherent sense of respect or whatever, but it has to be mutual, right? So it can't just be fandom. It's more respect rather than idolizing in my case, I think. Yeah. I think that's what he talks about here, right? But I think, yeah, I would guess that that his point or whatever is kind of that someone can be your hero, but you can also be their peer, right? It's like you can really admire your peers. That's the point, right? It's like, and not only that, but also that is probably kind of the ideal state of it all, right? If you are a musician and you don't admire the producers you work with, right? If you don't say, whoa, this is something like, this is incredible, or this is super great, right? It's like, I don't know, it's not that you could do better or whatever, right? But yeah, kind of, you could do better, right? And there is a sense in which maybe you would be more inspired or whatever, or you could make your own stuff could be even better if not just because of, I don't know. That's the vibe that is. I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself correctly. I don't think I am, but yeah. Okay, I was in question 2. Then, for the second point, the something specific about yourself or whatever, or and their influence on you, your work shaped the way I now do X. This is where I would tie it to. I could tie it together with the. I read his essays on startup stuff, and I made, and the way I make advice videos, right? The advice videos that I made are very shaped by your essays and by Paul Graham's essays as well, right? But also, like, share something specific about myself. I would also say that I like cars, and that's why I like seeing him around, like driving a McLaren F1, right? Because it's a very rare car. I don't know, car people know how rare that is. And then the problem is that I don't have like any easy to a specific question that I would say, right? So it is an imperfect prompt in the Visa framework. It's maybe a 4 to 6 out of 10 good 5-minute question, but I don't know. This is what I would kind of try to ask. And yeah, let's change scene just to make it a little bit more funny. Podcast room. Something like this, right? And it'd be like, hey Sam, okay, let's pull up this and put it here. I'd be something like, hey Sam, I know we only have 5 minutes, but hey Sam, thank you for these 5 minutes. Yeah, I just wanted to say that yeah, because this is more of a tell thing, right? And yeah, fuck it, let's go. This is go time. Hey Sam, thank you for these 5 minutes. I just wanted to get something out really quickly in this time. basically, I've been a fan of your essays, the startup stuff, and yeah, just general advice that you give. It really resonated with me, and I think it helped me make. I like to make videos, so some context, and the advice that I'm so bad at this. I should have cut. Okay, fuck it, cut. I don't want to render it after. Fuck it. And I don't know. Yeah, because one part is unrelated to the other. Right? I will only ask about the like really the only things that I care to ask are these mundane things about how's driving a McLaren F1, right? And it's not a good question because it's a how question, right? Visa says this kind of it should be specific questions. Basically, if they are yes or no, it's better, right? I don't know. I also don't think. I don't know. Like I'm not in his field, right? I'm not. Like I'm not trying to get out. I get anything out of it. Like what can I get in 5 minutes out of this, right? Is this supposed to be like a life-changing transcendental type moment? Not really, right? It's just something that I wanted to get out quickly. It's just we have a little bit time. I know more about you that you know about me. Maybe we can get it paired together, and yeah. Yeah, and if not, cool, right? If you're not like if you don't want to watch these kind of videos or whatever, like there's no. I don't know. I tell you, but like you, Sam. I tell Sam, but it's not like you need to do it, right? So it would be something like, I don't know. Hey Sam, I know we only have like 5 minutes or so I just wanted to get a couple of things that I had on my mind. I wanted to get the message out, and yeah, there are a couple of unrelated things. The first bit is about just me expressing some gratitude, I would say, from you writing your essays, and yeah, just being part of this ecosystem of interesting writing regarding startups and regarding, you could say, life advice if you want to have good impact, right? Great good impact in society and like really change how things are done. And yeah, I've read your essays on this how to start a startup and what you do with your time, and I liked them. I vibe with them, and they are kind of my reference point, along with, you could say, Paul Graham's writing when I think of advice and whether to receive advice or whether to give it. They are kind of some of the pieces that I gravitate towards. So yeah, I wanted to thank you for that. And then I also, I know that you got married recently. So yeah, I wanted to congratulate you on that. And for some context, I like cars. I have been a car guy for a long time, and it is, you could say, one of my main obsessions, maybe, or at least interests, right? And as you know, in the car world, the McLaren F1 is kind of this iconic car. So, yeah, I wanted to say also that, I don't know, give it a nod to that, right? Give kind of a nod of respect out of you giving it some use. And that's kind of basically it. This has been more of a communication from me to you, but that is, I don't have any really specific questions about it. I just wanted to get this message out, and yeah, I don't know. If I make random videos and I stream sometimes, so it's not, and I'm not super related to your field. I've basically used ChatGPT a couple of times, so I don't have this huge value proposition that I can give. But yeah, if you're up to having some kind of discussion on these more, you could say, mundane topics, or this kind of where the outlier type vibe of someone with high impact, someone with who drives expensive cars, and someone in the tech world who's gay. Something like this, if you think that type of vibe could resonate with you. No, fuck, I fucked it up. Okay. I will cut something because it was fine up until some point. I think of it's more respect rather than idealism. Yeah, but yes or no really leads to a conversation. I think in the end, you should ask the questions you really care about, not the questions that sound the best. Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess yes or no questions is for when there are dichotomies, right? Oops. For example, this is example of questions for her, right? For Haley are some. Oops. Oh, he doesn't have examples, but I assume that you would ask scissor questions, right? So, for example, if he has questions about dealing with pedestalization from fans or something, instead of getting this huge conversation, you could basically give a good prompt, right? So, I have this audience of like 60,000 followers, 80,000 followers, and blah, 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 blah. I've seen that you also have this huge audience, and I sometimes feel like I relate to this. I have these situations where people ask this from me, blah, 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 blah. It's like, do you think this is a good approach or a bad approach, right? And if she says, oh, I see, like maybe she probably wouldn't be like super harsh or whatever, but you could sense that if you write a scissor question, you could, people will be like, oh, actually, I don't do that, right? It's like, oh, I see that you talk to haters every day, right? For example, I don't know, for some reason, oh, I actually, I think that from the vibe of what you told me, you seem to talk a lot to haters, right? I prefer to cut that out completely, and so I have 0%, right? So maybe it's something that Visa has been doing, right? Engaging with haters, talking with haters, blah, 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 because he believed before that it's a good tactic or whatever. And then after meeting Hailey, he's like, oh shit, right? If Hailey does it that way, and I respect her so much, blah, 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 then it makes sense for me to change my behavior in that way, right? I think that's kind of what Visa's questions are framed, right? That's why I imagine. What day is it today? 2024 02 09. Let's play this one. It is a good approach. It does lead to a more conversation than a simple yes/no question, where the conversation just stops afterward. Yeah, but I think that yes or no question, like, it's not like a literally yes, literally no question, right? It's not kind of like, do you like pizza? Yes or yes or no, right? I don't know. It's more It's more when it's these kind of questions, there are more like scissor questions, I could say. That's the way I interpret it, right? Not literally yes or literally no question, right? Because, for example, it's more asking hey Sam, I know, and yes, you know, in the car world, the McLaren F1 kind of a nod of respect out of you stream sometimes, so occasion from me to you, but that is, I don't have any really specific questions about it. I just wanted to get this message out, and yeah, I don't know. If I make random videos and I make mundane topics, or I don't know. This was an interesting exercise. I'm not sure if I thought it was a good video idea. I think it's still a good video idea, but it's a good video idea if the questions I have are good. Right? If the questions I have are not good, well, and because I don't have any questions, I don't have I'm not sure what I would ask him. Right? I wouldn't ask him anything. I would tell him that what I told him, and yeah, then I'm going to fuck it. Let's attempt this thing. F anthem. And be like, yeah, if I have a question that I would ask, they would all be related to what I've said before of these kind of more mundane things, right? So it would be kind of like, how is living in San Francisco as this very outlier type person, right? This outlier in wealth, outlier in impact, you could say, outlier, you could say, in taste of cars or whatever. And yeah, also regarding the getting married part, do you believe that, I guess, being gay in San Francisco, is that an outlier thing, or is that, but maybe in San Francisco it isn't, but because of its culture, but maybe it is in the tech world, right? So it's not a very specific question, but my question would be kind of like, if you would want to explore this type of more mundane, casual questions with someone who is interested in those kind of things, feel free to hit me up or whatever, or answer in the time we have until the 5-minute mark. Thank you for this, Sam. Bye. That would be. I will edit that together later or whenever I want. I also thought it would be a good video. I just wanted to get my thoughts out, Yeah. I definitely welcome that. Okay. Enough of this today. If I want to, I will edit it later. If I don't want to, I will probably not do it. So, and the luck thing, right? So I wanted to explore this luck thing. So here, for example, he has this. As I said before, in this piece about luck, he talks about luck. This is an essay about luck by Jacob Greenfeld. This is some guy I found. While applying to jobs, I'm not sure if you remember. This is the sales.co guy, right? So he's written this, and I don't know. I thought it was interesting to look at it because I do like luck. I have this note about luck. Control luck. 4 types of luck. I took it from Visa because Visa talks about it a lot also. And he has these 4 types of luck that he found in this book, James Austin Chance, and creativity. And there are this one kind of luck, which is blind luck, which is just finding a $5 bill on the floor, or like being born rich and poor, right? That's blind luck, right? You don't have any influence on that outcome, right? Then adding variability to drinking. So doing something repeatedly will introduce variability that will produce both higher and lower outcomes than average attempts, right? So because there is an average baseline, but because of the nature of variability, there are better things and worse things, right? So in my 100 video series, according to each person's taste, there will be very good video, not very good, but maybe there will be better videos than others, right? Just because of the fact that I've made 100 of them, right? Even if the 100 are made in similar fashion, right? There will be variety. Then add discernment. Classic luck favors the prepared scenario. If you had the knowledge to know whether something is good or bad, and out of luck you recognize that attempt, it's this kind of luck, right? I would say the discernment luck was the video I've talked about of me talking about this rapper's video, right? This rapper's music video. I have watched a lot of videos. I have some discernment, so I kind of more or less knew that this video was a decent idea, right? And it was, I guess, the most successful example of this, right? Reacting to this rap video was on my regular format, just me talking over a browser window, well received, right? Versus, for example, this one. And then add unique frame of reference when the stars align to help you, basically when a particular person gets approached by someone with very specific requests. Oh, well. And an example I like about this, right, is that if you are prepared and you have knowledge, right, to know whether something is good or bad, right? So I stumbled upon this music video, and because of my discernment, I could more or less take a guess, right? But there are probably people with more discernment or whatever in the video context. So, as better examples, the penicillin example was this Alexander Fleming guy, some biologist or whatever, who kept experimenting, right? Penicillin was kind of a mistake or something like this, but it was a mistake that he recognized, right? So you have to be lucky to have this mistake, right? Because it was a mistake, right? It was not intended like that. But if you are not prepared to see the mistake, if you are not prepared to see that the way this bacteria rotted are actually good for the humans, right? If you don't have the mind to see that, you fucked up. Or like steel, there is this story about how better steel was developed, and it was like basically out of luck, right? They were kind of melting iron or whatever, and when they were melting iron, like some coal fell in, right? And the coal, like steel is iron plus carbon, right? So iron plus coal, you get steel. And because of that, steel was born. But it's like you had to realize, right? Because of doing, I guess, continuous testing on the resilience of these materials or whatever, like when you get a new batch of iron, you test it, right? These kind of things. Then, even though it was blind luck, not blind luck, even though it was luck that some coal fell into the batch, it's like, if you notice, because you are kind of experimenting and testing out the strength of the iron, then you notice that, actually the steel that happened was better. I don't know. The story kind of goes like this. I probably fucked it up, but it's like this. And then the next step of luck is like adding a unique frame of reference, which is basically when the stars seem to align to help you. Basically, when a particular person gets approached by someone with a very specific request that only they can resolve. And this is kind of, when you see this kind of huge music artist, right, getting so lucky that, I don't know, this stadium put her name, like when Taylor Swift got a stadium named from her, I don't know. There are probably examples. Fuck it, let's check this, the post. Yeah, Visa talks about some of this here, right? So he got invited to see the prime minister, right? or these kind of things, right? If someone, this is kind of not, I don't know, this is kind of, I guess, if you are the prime minister, right? If you are the prime minister and you get invited by other prime ministers, it's like someone, only the prime minister of some of a certain country can get invited to this kind of events because of the fact that he is the prime minister, right? It's like there is luck involved, but it is, I don't know, these kind of things, right? The example here is the links of chance 4 can be drawn together and fused only by one quixotic rider cantering in on his own homemade hobby horse to intercept the problem at an odd angle, right? Chance 4 comes to you unsought because of who you are and how you behave. By the time Chance 4 finally occurs, the easy, more accessible problems will have already been solved earlier by conventional actions, conventional logics, or by the operations of the other forms of chance. What remains is a tough core of complex resistance problems. Such problems yield to none but an unusual approach. Whereas the lucky connection in Chase 2 might come to anyone with disposable energy as the happy byproduct of any aimless, circular stirring of the pot, the links of Chance 4 can be drawn together and fused only by one quixotic rider cantering in on his own homemade hobby horse to intercept the problem at an odd angle. I like this phrase, right? This is, only you cannot get this type of luck just by adding variability on something, right? It's like this kind of luck that can only happen to this specific person because of the specific weirdness that they have, right? Perfect storm luck. This is possibly like this startup type stories, maybe, I don't know, something like this, right? The Facebook story, the Facebook movie story, maybe this kind of. And yeah, I like this luck, right? Because going back to this, in this kind of book or whatever, this booklet, he talks about John and Sam as writers. John is the writer who decides that he will stay at his parents' house, write just one book for 2 years, and then try his luck publishing it. And Sam is this person who moves to a different city, who, Austin in this case, who writes a lot of tweets, a lot of newsletters, a lot of blog posts, and sends a lot of emails to people. And it's like Sam is opening up his luck a lot, right? While John has this one single chance at luck, right? So it's like, it's not that John cannot ever have success, right? Maybe he can, right? Maybe the success that John gets by going to the supermarket or whatever and getting a crazy idea for his book is insane. But you can see that Sam, because of his exposure to whatever, is more likely to have luck. Right? And I wanted kind of to analyze my own situation. For example, and he gives like these 4 parameters, right? Hustle, setup, capacity, and creativity. Hustle is just proactively bringing more luck into your life, right? So doing things a lot of times. In my case, I would say, here he puts networking, building an audience, shipping. I think I do some of these things, right? Building an audience, you could say this is building an audience, right? Networking, I don't do that a lot, like actively networking with people. And shipping, it depends. For example, I ship videos, but I could hustle more on videos, you could say, right? I could ship better videos. I don't know. It depends on what you call lucky, right? Here he says to get lucky, you have to take a ton of swings. And I think I do this better, right? I think I have taken more swings than good swings, right? I think I have gone for swings rather than for, I don't know, accuracy of swing or whatever. I don't know. He says something like you have to carry full swings, not stop halfway through. And I don't know. This is where it gets sketchy, right? I don't. Yeah, I have resistance or whatever. But what will people say about this thing I created? Right? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I definitely think these things about some like more editing projects, and those are the ones that get canned. I could say. I get right. I guess. Yeah. So how can you increase the number of lottery tickets in your pocket? One strategy that makes a lot of sense is to chip many small projects instead of a huge one. I think this is what I have done with my YouTube video series. Right. I have made a lot of 100 videos instead of just one masterpiece. Building an audience. Yeah, this is, I guess, my thing, right? Engineering serendipity. I don't know. This is kind of my core belief behind this, right? My goal, I know that I'm not going to be XQC, right? I know that I am not going to have, well, maybe I will one day. Don't think so, right? But I don't know. I'm not going to have like 20,000 people on my stream or whatever, right? There are 2 people right now. But I don't know. It's like, how crazy is it that there was a Russian 10-year-old and the German from Berlin in the same place, right? I don't know. This is kind of serendipitous, right? And yeah, I don't know. You have to also think realistically, I guess, right? It's like, what's the chance that someone will see this and give me a job, right? Probably slim, right? But still, I don't know. Not zero, right? Or that's my goal. That's also like my thing with Twitter, right? I have people. There are people who follow me on Twitter who have, for some reason, are billionaires, right? For example, P-Mark. Does he follow me? Yeah. I'm not sure why, but he follows me. He follows 20,000 people, right? But I don't know. He follows me, right? It's interesting, right? This is a guy who's a billionaire, literally, right? It's like if I get a regular job in and do regular things in my city, I wouldn't be exposed to these kind of things, right? Man, I went a tirade about the modern job market. This is Blitzer658, aka Amix. Welcome to the chat. And yeah, it's rigged. I was talking about this recently too, complaining. Yesterday, actually. She was talking because a friend was talking about retail jobs. She was talking about like applying to retail jobs or something like this, right? And I was like, that job market is completely strange, right? I don't know. To me, it's like that. Yeah, she was like, yeah, probably the thing is that they are looking for, I don't know, like the criteria to select people is just basically if you're hot or not, right? So if you're working retail and you're hot, you have more chances, right? But they can't actually say it on the resume, obviously, right? They can't put it on the, not resume, on the application or whatever. Pimarca blocked my ass. Yeah. I don't know. I was too based for him. Yeah, I don't take the follow seriously because he follows 20,000 people, but it's an example, right? Yeah, he talks about this here, literally. Let's say you have 2,000 followers that you got by posting feel good platitudes, whereas I only have 2 followers called Elon Musk and Paul Graham. Would you swap accounts? So I think about what kind of people and opportunities you like to have in your life. I don't know. I, for example, I am not that. I don't know. I believe that in the 2,000 followers that you get by posting feel good platitudes, there's also interesting things happening there, right? I don't know. And yeah, networking. For most people, the personal network is the main source of life. Expanding your network by reaching out to strangers and nurturing your network by staying in touch with people are one of those asymmetric habits that require little effort, time, and resources, but have unlimited upside. Fortunately, for some people, me included, this isn't something that happens naturally. Yeah. So he has this system of he has an Excel sheet of people and this automation that reminds him who to reach out to, right? Yeah, he has this. I read this on a blog post by him. Yeah, setup is probably where I am. I don't know. Let's see what he says. Man, the problem with Teapot is it's very tech oriented. Yeah. In a sense, it is. And I think that's, I guess, one of the reasons that I don't like it, right? No, not don't like it, but that I don't. That I don't expect a lot from it, right? There is one sense in which I expect from it, in which is where I believe that there is a chance of something happening, which is that tech actually is important, right? Yeah, not everyone can get a tech job. Then what? What are people supposed to do? Work as a burger cook for minimum wage? The game is rigged. Yeah, that's why I guess kind of gravitated to this guy. How's it called? VGR Venkatesh, right? I think he's not on Twitter anymore, so. But yeah, because he's a consultant and he does some things in the real world, right? He's into robotics a little bit, which is kind of tech, I guess, but also real world, right? But also other things, right? Projects about ecology or something like that, right? For example, some solar type shit. I don't know. I recall correctly, right? If I recall. And I don't know. I thought it was interesting, right? Because after all, I am an engineer, right? So I do have some of that in me of wanting to do things in the real world, right? Of I don't know, building a car, right? Or having a place where you can store cars, where the cars go. BRB starting a shoplifting store. That's called, how was it called? Amazon Go, right? That store where you could just do these things. You have to let the universe, really just other people know that you're receptive for opportunities and the kind of person that deserves to receive them. I think this is where I do wrong, in being the kind of person that deserves to receive them. I do think I let people know that I'm receptive for opportunities. The ideal situation is to get paid to do projects you're interested in and share them on the internet like all the engineer YouTubers. Yeah, that's something I like. I like that kind of thing. But in my head, the projects are always too convoluted to be driven by someone else, right? And I think in those engineers cases as well. Hence, even the tiniest of bad signals you put up will make a huge difference, and you'll be surprised by how many opportunities. Okay, visibility. If you're working from home, the odds of interesting chance encounters is 0. Yeah, this is my problem, I guess. Visibility is my main problem in real life. That I don't do any of these things. I don't go to cafes or all that thing because I also don't have a lot of money. But yeah. And yeah, I don't work out. I think that I should do these things a lot, but yeah, I forget. I think online I do a better job, but not a good job either. One option is to live stream your work on a platform like Twitch or YouTube. But admittedly, that's very stressful and you always have to make sure you're not sharing any secrets publicly. Yeah, in my case, because I'm unemployed, that's what I do. So a better solution is to share curated highlights on Twitter or on your personal site. Yeah. This was interesting, but on my case, right, I don't know. I felt like curating things, yeah, well, it's good sometimes. In many times, these people end up being so annoying, right? Being in this blue check space is just tiring because everyone is like, okay, so I made $60,000 per month. This is how. And you're like, and you're like, bro, okay, I get it, but also, it's like there are less people sharing snapshots of what they work on and more people just trying to sell you something on it, right? Which is like, okay, I get it, but openness. Openness is about communicating as clearly as possible that the bad signals you put up there, the invitation. What? Openness is all about communicating as clearly as possible that the bad signals you put up there is an invitation, right? Even in the best gym or co-working space, you will have zero interesting chance encounters unless you start signaling that you're open to having conversations. Or rather, the most important thing is to avoid signaling the opposite. Unfortunately, this is what almost everyone does nowadays by wearing headphones. You could do something similar offline, like wearing a t-shirt that says something like "talk to me." Lol. My friend Paul Miller has a page with his Calendly link where he invites strangers to no agenda Zoom calls, and Nick Gray actually posts his mobile number and invites people to just call him. Lol. There are different levels and you have to experiment what works with you. Likeability. This is where I go very wrong. If you see someone on the side of the road holding their thumb out, trying to get a ride because their car broke down, you're not likely to stop. But if you see someone on the side of the road pushing their car, you will get out and try to push. People like people who do stuff. The more you do, the more people will be rooting for you, and the more great opportunities will come your way. Yeah, this is where I struggle, because I don't know if streaming or whatever is doing things, right? Because other people don't do it. So there is a sense in which it is doing something. But also, is it really doing something? I don't know. This is why working in public is so powerful. This is why I that is why I started doing these kind of streams where I edit video on stream. the ones where I was editing the video about what I had for lunch, for example. Those kind of streams make sense in a way because they are kind of working in public. And I was like, this is showing that I'm doing something else aside, right? I don't know. And that's why I thought it was funny to stream the process of me making my videos, right? People will start reaching out to you with advice and suggestions. And I guess this happens, right? Honey, I was there before helps a lot when I say something like, when doing the Sam Altman thing, I got help. Another factor the car story nicely illustrates is offline, a good rule of thumb, hotel bathroom, dress code. Always dress well enough to walk into a bathroom at a hotel you're not staying at and get away with it. This way you'll always look sharp enough to capitalize on any serendipitous encounter. Control F hotel bathroom. Similarly, online professional headshots and well-designed personal websites are great designing points. Another smart thing to invest in is having a compelling origin story ready available. This could be a podcast, video, or blog post that explains your background and why you're doing what you do. Yeah, I think someone that I liked was Ke. I think his name is Ke. No, Ke. Like this. Kehra. Bro, I forgot. Paul. Let's go with Paul. And follow. Kerry. No. Okay, Rat Reads. Let's see. Rat Reads. Yeah. Kehi. Strange name. This guy has, I don't know, his videos telling his life are pretty good, right? He's a good storyteller, right? Yeah, this one, 44 years old and semi-retired, my typical day. This was interesting. And he also has, I guess, I don't know, he has a lot of videos like this, right? 1 hour long, he's talking about it, but then you watch the video and it's pretty good. And that's why I made my life story video. But yeah, that's the beta version. I wanted to make another one, so I guess I could make it another one. A great origin story is the fastest way to turn a stranger into someone, blah, blah, blah. If you're not sure what your thing is, you can come up with a narrative air cover. This can be any kind of project, website, initiative that makes it easy to explain what you do while you figure out what you do. I did this with my Bootstrap MBA experiment. It was a catchy name for my personal learning experiment I came up with, and my plan was simply to learn everything I could about bootstrapping entrepreneurship. But it was a perfect narrative air cover. It gave me an excuse to reach out to people. To this day, people refer to me as the Bootstrap MBA guy. Interesting. I don't know what my case would be. Inner lock surface area. Intellectual junk food, like most TikTok videos, tweets, or YouTube videos, has similarly devastating effect as regular junk food. Does the person I want to be consume this kind of content? I don't know. This is my problem with some of these things, right? I like watching good TV shows, for example. I like watching YouTube videos that are good. And also just general people talking about their shit, right? I also watch these kind of videos, right? And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to make them as well, right? And if some people think it's slop, it's just nonsense content or whatever, I don't know. I don't think so, right? And sometimes I also like watching top 10 lists of stuff, right? Sometimes I also like watching the 10 things you shouldn't do, blah, 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 right? I don't know. Sometimes I will watch those videos as well. Beth, Bath, and Booze are the 3 B's of creativity. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Interesting essay or whatever. I will link it here. Boom. Well, actually, fuck it. I can't link it here, actually. It's probably one of those private links or whatever, but I don't know. I will paste it and yeah, I can't. Sorry. You can sign up to the newsletter or whatever if you want to read this. The guy is called Jacob Odenfeld. Boom. And yeah, I'm going to leave now. Goodbye. Thank you for being here. Hanyo, Blitzer G658, aka Amix. And I think that's it. Oh, the Russian guy at the beginning, Zomech Som. And yeah, also the Giga person. There was some Giga Twig person also. Bye.